오버워치 사양은 어느 정도 되고 연령 제한은 어떻게 되는지.
Those are two really great questions, and actually I don't have a great answer for them right now. So right now we are trying to optimize the game as much as possible. We think Blizzard has a really good reputation of making sure that our system requirements are low enough to get a really big audience so a lot of people can play our game. So we're going to shoot to optimize the game more. We're still early in development, so there's some time before optimization will take place. In terms of a rating, the game needs to be further along for us to get the rating from the various organizations. We do know that we want the game to feel very family friendly to people, so we don't use profanity in the game. We don't do anything overtly sexual in the game. We really want the game to have sort of a wholesomeness to it. Now we know it's a shooter and there's a certain amount of violence to it, so it's hard to weigh what the rating will end up being, but those are our values at least.
스타나 디아블로 같은 경우에 이제 패키지로 출시가 되었고, 하스톤이나 히어로즈 같은 경우에 다운로드 방식으로 채택이 되었는데, 한국 같은 기준으로는 오버워치 같은 경우에는 이 두 가지 방식 중에 어떤 거를 택할지.
We're actually talking very actively about what the business model is going to be for Overwatch at this time. We haven't decided upon what the business model is going to be. We know that it needs to feel like a great value for our players first and foremost, so that's of the utmost concern to us. We're very fortunate at Blizzard to have experience with a lot of different business models. So we have, games like Diablo and StarCraft that are more the traditional box model. We have a subscription game in World of Warcraft, and Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone are free to play. So we have a lot of knowledge and experience at this point dealing with different business models, and we'll make sure to bring all of that to bear when it comes to deciding what the business model is for Overwatch.
히어로즈 스톰의 경우에 그 대립각에 있는 상대를 죽일 경우에 특별한 멘트가 있는데, 이제 오버워치 세계관에 따라 대립되는 적을 죽였을 때 혹시 특별한 제스처라든지 아니면 그 대사가 있는지에 대해서 궁금합니다.
We've actually talked a lot about that in Overwatch. It's something we're very excited about is playing up the rivalries between our different heroes. Like, for example, McCree is pitted against the Reaper. Widowmaker and Tracer have a lot of back and forth, or even between allies. Tracer and Winston are buddies. So we want to do more of that. We love what Heroes of the Storm is doing, and we hope we can bring more of that to Overwatch.
히어로즈 이야기가 나와서 그런데 그 히어로즈 스톰 같은 경우에 이제 블리자드의 모든 게임들 출동하는 게임이잖아요. 그래서 혹시나 이제 오버워치 캐릭터가 이제 히어로즈 스톰에도 나올 수 있는지에 대해서
the Overwatch team absolutely loves Heroes of the Storm, and it would be the greatest honor to see an Overwatch hero in Heroes of the Storm. So we really hope that it will happen someday. We've talked a lot about it, and we feel like StarCraft, Warcraft, and Diablo are so revered as universes in sort of Blizzard's cadre of game worlds that we want to make sure Overwatch launches first and Blizzard fans truly love it like they love the other franchises, but before we've sort of earned our place with Heroes of the Storm. So our hope, the Overwatch team is working really, really hard to do a great job to make it so that the Heroes of the Storm team, would deem us worthy to have one of our heroes in Heroes of the Storm.
포스터에 보면은 아직 미공개된 캐릭터 두 명이 있거든요. 이 캐릭터에 대해서 특징이라든지 컨셉에 대해서
we wanted players to know when we announced at BlizzCon that there were more heroes to come and to build a lot of excitement and anticipation. And there were 3 heroes in the original lineup that players had never seen before, and we revealed one of them at PAX East to be the outlaw McCree. Now there are still those 2 other guys in the picture who nobody knows who they are yet, and we kind of want to leave it that way. We want players to think about it and talk about it and build anticipation to give them something to look forward to. We also want to remind players that Zarya was never in that picture at BlizzCon, so she was a surprise that there are heroes in the picture and out of the picture that are part of the Overwatch universe.
현재 지금 이제 PVP 모드만 있는 상태인데 혹시 뭐 협동전이라든지 아니면 이제 협동전하고 연계되는 AI 모드가 혹시 준비 중에 있는지.
At this time, the game is entirely focused on PvP 6v6 competitive play. We will try to do things to teach players how to play the game and give them an opportunity to practice their abilities. And that's sort of what the plan is for now. We're very open-minded and we're very much listening to the community about what they want to see from the game, but at its core it is this very much PvP experience.
이건 좀 제 개인적인 사적인 질문인데 저 같은 경우에는 되게 충분히 재미있게는 즐겼는데 좀 시간이 좀 지날 경우에 스킬 자체가 이제 4개밖에 없다 보니까 좀 타 캐릭터만의 이제 협동으로 같이 해서 뭐 협동 스킬 같은 게 생겼으면 참 좋을 것 같다는 생각이 들었는데 혹시 뭐 그런 거에 대한 뭐 피드백?
We actually try to put as much cooperative gameplay as possible into Overwatch. I think if you look at things that at the surface might not be immediately evident as a cooperative ability, like Zarya's ultimate, the Graviton Surge, it gathers the whole enemy team up in a group. It's an amazing ability when used. For example, if your team had a Tracer and she throws her Pulse Bomb into the mix, it will kill the entire enemy team. Or McCree does his Deadeye, or Pharah does her ultimate. We've also found great combinations of other abilities as well, such as Reinhardt holding a shield in front of McCree as he's doing his ultimate. So while we don't have any explicit cooperative abilities that only work in a cooperative situation, we try to design into the core gameplay a lot of cooperative opportunity with many of the abilities.
벌써부터 이제 스윙 모델에 대해서 이야기하는 건 좀 시기상조이긴 하지만 그 이제 FPS 게임 최초로 제 개인적으로 약간 스킨 쪽으로 많이 관련된 그런 스윙 모델을 만들 수 있을 것 같은데 혹시 스킨에 대한 생각이 어떠신지에 대해서?
Ever since we showed the game at BlizzCon and then we brought it here to PAX, and every time players get their hands on it and look at the game, everybody asks us about skins because I think they see these beautiful heroes and they only can imagine what cool things in terms of customization they could bring to the game. And while we don't have anything specific to announce today, we are very open-minded and very much listening to everybody's feedback, and we've just been getting that outpouring of desire for something like skins in the game, and I can say without a doubt that we're listening very closely to that.
우리나라 같은 경우에는 이제 e스포츠가 워낙에 발전이 돼 있다 보니까 이 게임도 당연히 이제 e스포츠가 되지 않을까라는 생각을 많이 하고 있는데 그와 관련된 뭐 랭크 시스템이라든지 아니면 뭐 e스포츠 관련된 콘텐츠를 준비하고 있으신지.
This is a really fascinating question because esport is something that Mike Morhaime, our CEO of Blizzard, has said is one of our highest values is to embrace esport and to really help it grow throughout the world. So we obviously are paying a lot of attention to it. What's funny is when we started Overwatch development, it was very similar to what we were doing with Hearthstone development. And the Hearthstone team said, first and foremost, we want to set out to create a very fun, competitive game that's approachable by a lot of people, that many people could play the game. And that was our same belief with Overwatch, that we wanted it to just be a great competitive game that was very approachable. Now, the more we've shown it at BlizzCon, we had some pro gamers come and play, and some internet streamers come play recently, and now we're showing it here at PAX. Everybody loves watching the game and talks about how much fun it is to watch Overwatch and how awesome it would be as an esport. We've even, on our team, we have about 70 people working on the game, and our QA department decided to run a tournament for our team. And initially we would show up on our lunch break to play. And at the start, there was just a few of us watching this match. By the end of the tournament, which lasted a few weeks, everybody from Irvine who worked at Blizzard was showing up in our space to watch these matches at lunch. So we know that the game is great for esport. We want it to be great for esport, and we want to try to support it as much as possible. Our initial view was not that it was going to be an esport, so we were in the process of regrouping and really thinking about what are all the features that this game needs to be a great esport, and that's going to be a focus of ours sort of moving forward from here on out.
버티니스2가 서비스 중인데 어쩔 수 없이 그 게임과 이제 오버워치가 비교될 수밖에 없다 보니까 그 게임과 뭐 차별성이라든지 매력에 대해서 좀 더 자세하게 말씀해 주셨으면 좋을 것 같아요.
Our game has gotten a lot of comparison to Team Fortress 2, which is very, very flattering to us because we're huge fans of Team Fortress 2 and think it's an amazing game. I've played hundreds of hours myself, so I'm very excited to hear the comparison. One of the reasons that when we announced Overwatch at BlizzCon, we made sure to have the game playable to so many people and are doing the same thing here at PAX East, is so people can experience the game hands-on for themselves to realize just how different those games are from one another. I think the most notable thing about Overwatch and its differences from Team Fortress 2 is that Overwatch is really focused on each of the heroes being a unique individual from one another and how they use their abilities. Abilities are as important as a gun in other games, and plus each character has an ultimate ability. I think players are also realizing as they play more and more Overwatch the differences between movement and mobility in Overwatch compared to other games, and the way that really changes how things are played. There's also very unique elements like previously in team-based FPS games, you're really not seeing a lot of tanking characters, and Overwatch has characters like Winston, Reinhardt, and Zarya that really change the dynamic in how the game is played. We're so excited to bring this game to Korean players, and we're so excited that you're all listening and paying attention. We want to make this game along with you. Please sign up for the beta at playoverwatch.com. Come play with us in the fall of 2015. 감사합니다.